I've seen it all before. It all builds up inside of your head. It all spills over into such a pretty mess. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie.
Welcome to the first episode of Junk Food History. This is going to be a show that's going to come up monthly, and we're going to talk about the history of a particular brand or product. This month, we're going to talk about Keebler. Keebler is a cookie brand that's mostly been in the United States, but has now found its way all over the world. I had a recent experience, which I'll talk about later, that sort of explains why Keebler came into my mind and why I thought about it. So, sit back, and why don't you learn a little something about Keebler?
Keebler?
Yes, officer?
Can you vouch for this elf?
Well,
Caught him smuggling melted chocolatey filling out of your factory. Pretty clever. He hid it inside this chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, you mean Keebler Magic Middles. We hide lots of delicious melted chocolatey filling inside crisp cookies. Try one.
Incredible. So he's not the front man for a fudge smuggling operation?
No, sir. He's our middleman.
Magic Middles from the Keebler elves in 3 delicious flavors.
Keebler is a fascinating company with an interesting corporate history. The corporate history is even more interesting than the cookies themselves. The most famous part of the Keebler company is not the cookies as much as the spokes characters, the Keebler elves. The Keebler elves are responsible for baking many of the cookie varieties, including Classic Chip Deluxe, EL Fudge cookies, as well as many other chocolate chip tie-ins. In fact, the cookie tie-ins is what inspired me to research Keebler for the history of Keebler. I was at my local store and I came across a shelf full of Keebler cookies in many different varieties. One that caught my eye was a chocolate chip and peanut butter cup cookie. Honestly, when I ate it, I didn't like it. It needed more peanut butter and the cups were all broken apart and fragmented. Although I didn't like the cookie, I really loved the idea of this cookie. So it got me thinking about where these cookies came from. In 1853, Godfrey Keebler opened a bakery in Philadelphia. Keebler was of German descent living in the United States. The name Keebler actually has very little to do with the brand. At the time, many bakers were coming together in order to broaden what they could offer. Bakeries would merge with other bakeries so that the bread from one could be sold all around, while the cookies from another bakery could also make their way around. Each bakery would focus on one type of baked good, but would sell baked goods from other bakeries. Eventually, these bakeries came together under one name, Keebler. In 1927, the United Biscuit Company of America was formed. These bakeries decided to form a single company that would sell their baked goods all over the United States. Distribution channels were made, and costs would be lowered under this company. Keebler was one of these companies. In 1936, the Keebler Whale Bakery became the first official baker of Girl Scout cookies, the first commercial company to bake these cookies in history. Before 1936, the Scouts' mothers were expected to bake the cookies for sale. In 1966, Keebler is adopted as the corporate title and single brand for all of the company's products. It's not really clear as to why the name Keebler was kept. It was one of the first bakeries that went in to form the United Biscuit Company of America, but other than that, it just seems to be a marketing choice.
Mr. Keebler?
Yes, sir?
I'm the world's richest man.
My.
Your rich and chips cookies taste rich. I admire that in a cookie.
Our cookies would taste rich even without the chips. When we add lots of chocolatey chips, Rich and Chips cookies taste deliciously rich.
Uncommonly rich. I'll buy your whole factory.
Our hollow tree's not for sale.
I'll build my own. How long does it take?
Oh, about 100 years.
Rich-tasting Keebler Rich and Chips and coconut chocolate drops.
In 1974, UK-based United Biscuit Company, not the same as the American one, acquired Keebler. This was a time when the UK-based United Biscuit Company thought it could turn Keebler into an international brand. Unfortunately, this was a bad time for this company. Rather than simply being the brand that sold cookies, the United Biscuit Company decided that the best move for Keebler was to go into salty snack development as well. This was to be a big mistake, as Nabisco at the time cornered this market and would eventually turn Keebler into a money-losing business. In 1996, a leveraged buyout of Keebler from United Biscuits of UK is completed. Sunshine Biscuit Company is subsequently acquired as well. At this point, Keebler was a money-losing business, but it had a history. Several food companies joined together to extract Keebler from the UK-based United Biscuit Company, and with the help of two men, Sam Reed and David Vermillion, the brand was to be brought back from the brink. These two men had a great deal of experience in food marketing. In the years that followed, the Keebler Elves were brought back after a hiatus during the UK biscuit ownership. The company also started to focus on what made them famous: cookies. They did expand, and in the 1990s, the company acquired several other brands and companies. In 2000, Kellogg's bought Keebler for $3.86 billion. At this point, the Elves had become icons of television sets all over the world. Unlike other instances that Keebler was purchased and merged with other companies, Kellogg seemed to be using the company's strengths, cookies and elves, to their favor. The crazy tie-ins that I mentioned earlier are Kellogg's crossing the streams of their other brands, while still holding on to what people expect from this brand, cookies. It's a strange situation with the Keebler brand. The man who started this bakery that merged with the other two bakeries is pretty much forgotten. Instead, we know the name Keebler and associate it with elves instead. The elves came along in 1969 before the UK-based United Biscuit buyout, but they didn't really hit their stride until the 1990s when they returned. The original elf, Ernest J. Keebler, from the campaign in 1969 still works in the tree. As the Keebler website says, the elves are ageless. He's remained the main spokesman for this brand, although many other elves have been added to the roster. The new elves are often brought in to support a particular cookie. It's either these new elves' ineptitude or special skills that goes into creating a new brand for Keebler.
Hey, careful with that fudge.
Sorry, Ernie. It's the rookie's first time covering cookies.
Do I have to use so much fudge?
We're elves. We always use lots.
Lots of rich, creamy fudge makes our good Keebler cookies taste even more uncommonly good.
Keep your eye on a cookie, kid.
Making Keebler fudge-covered cookies takes lots of fudge.
And lots of practice.
Fudge sticks, fudge stripes, fudge marshmallows, and deluxe grahams from Keebler.
The elves have even become a business unto themselves. And if you look on eBay, you can find all kinds of plush dolls, statues, cookie jars, and all kinds of kitchen bric-a-brac. My memories of Keebler are much more about the elves than the cookies. After eating those disappointing peanut butter cup cookies, I realized that something was missing. I knew about the folklore of the elves. I was in Asia, so I know the brand gets around. There's just nothing special about the cookies themselves. I've never associated the brand Keebler with the thing they're trying to sell directly. I've never gone into a store in search of Keebler cookies. However, those elves have convinced me to buy many cookies in the past.
Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Two small girls in a house made of sticks. Jello on the table. Peekaboo, I love you. You make the sunshine. At the picnic, mustard, ketchup hides my shame. Feathers, fluffy, fantastic. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Every day, every night. Happy fills my heart. The well flows over the fountain. You're gonna love it. Lucky, not shy. Bob haircut on top. Bubble snowflakes on the Surrey River. Peppy, flower soda pop. Just a minute, young lady. Shiver, splinter, sparkle. Go for it, Eddie! Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. 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 What? I just keep saying sugar cookie?
No, do some scat.
Jesus Christ. For God's sake. Ay, yay, yay. Ay, yay, ya pui pa 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 le i. Pupi, pa le pi, pi le pi, pi pi. Le pa, pi pe, pa le pero pom pom pom. Shan chiki kong, chiki bang bang, piao piao, bow bow, no no boy, 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 bow. Sugar cookie, what papa, sugar cookie, oh, sugar cookie, oh, oh, pop pepe, ah, dum dum, sugar, go. That's all you get. Apple pepe, for my la, apple pepe, for my la, shibi the ball, do the bed, or do the bed, do the bed, or do the bed, do the bed, or booby boo, shoo, God.